Hello and welcome back to Podcasting as Praxis. I'm Dave, my pronouns are he and him.
I'm Jamie, my pronouns are he and him.
I'm Rob, mine are he and him.
And I'm your very special guest, Sinan, pronouns are they and them. And actually, we're going to do another film. Surprise, I've made them watch. No, it's not.
It's Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
That's right. No, we
fuck
should do that.
No, we will not.
Stop suggesting that. No promises made during a recording are valid anymore.
No.
That happens now. From now, no promises made on a recording are valid.
Yeah. Please
All I'm
remember
saying
that itself is a promise made during a recording, though.
That is a law, actually, which is not a promise, as we all very well know by living in Britain.
Right, I think for now we are going to leave, certain world historical events that have begun over the weekend for the next episode, because I need some more time to wrap my brain around it. So at first I thought we'd start with some, good news and entertainment for a change, which was the recent by-election in Gorton and Denton, which was very funny.
It was very funny.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just my stream that was very funny. The actual result was possibly the funniest result we could have got out of it, I think.
Yeah, so if you were not online, and good on you, the Green Party overturned a 13,000 vote Labour majority and won by a hair under 15,000 votes. So this means that Labour's vote literally halved from 2024, from just over 50% to just over 25, and the Greens more than trebled their vote in return. So that's fucking excellent.
It's fantastic news. Honestly, this is like good news in that there's both like a good news spectacle in that Labour have melted down about it, but also it's actually legit good news.
I mean, it's not just Labour, though, is it? Because, Reform have been melting down.
Yeah. Obviously, my specialism is dunking on Labour, but Reform have also had a very bad time after as well.
I'm multi-class.
According to Zach Balenskis, he was interviewed, I think, by Sky. This was the 127th level target seat for the Greens if it were a general election. So if they can win here, and to be fair, this is unfair because they were able to concentrate all their volunteers and efforts into one place rather than having to spread it out over the country. But still, this is
the same holds true.
But that's
holds true for Labour, though.
And Reform.
Yeah, that's true.
The entire cabinet and every backbencher was there at least once.
Yeah, I mean, just check Twitter. I mean, don't go on Twitter, obviously, but you could in theory check Twitter and see all of them there.
Yeah. You could even like to see pictures of people being bamboozled at this red apparition appearing at their door to tell them about nuclear weapons, why they're great, and that's why you should vote Labour.
There was an even funnier special guest who showed up, though, which was Praful Nagand showed up.
Oh, shit! And they didn't
Praful
win.
Nagand I know! Incredible!
So,
sorry, go on, sorry.
So now, according to the latest YouGov polls, this is the first one done after the by-election. Labour is now the Greens are now 5 points ahead of Labour and 2 behind Reform. So, essentially...
Any other leader would be 20 points ahead. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Any other leader would be on 20 points.
That's right.
Yeah. But, all the major parties, and including, I'm just including Reform in this, even though I don't want to, all the 5 major parties are now somewhere between, I think it's 13 and 23%. So, essentially, we now have a 5-party system in a political environment that simply cannot cope with that. It's going to be fucking incredible.
It's even worse because we also have Plaid Cymru. Well, not worse. This is technically.
Yes.
I'm not saying that it's bad that they're doing. Plaid Cymru and the SNP are also going to clean house in Scotland and Wales, respectively, now. So, really, it's a 7-party system.
No, I wouldn't be so sure.
Are the SNP going to fuck it?
The SNP have been doing nothing but fucking it for the last few years.
But the SNP.
Labour's the contest there.
No, Labour's not the contest. Labour's not the contest. Tories. It doesn't work like that. They have fucked it now to the point where the entire independence thing that they keep hitting everyone over the head over and then doing nothing with is not going to work as a cudgel as well.
Oops. I would have done something with it.
You're going to end up in a position where people start to vote for other things. People are going to vote for actual policies, and you're going to get, because basically fuck all has changed. Everything has still gotten gradually, but slightly less gradually worse than it has in England. People are just going to throw their votes elsewhere. And there's a solid chance they won't vote for someone shit like Labour because, well, everyone hates Scottish Labour. And, well, this is Scotland. We can't vote Tory. That only really leaves the Scottish Green Party, which no one cares about and everyone just kind of thinks is a joke.
The minister for woolly jumpers and, recycling centres, yes.
Yeah. Patrick Harvey and fucking that other
Lorna.
One. The pair of them fucked it. Slater? Yeah, Slater. The pair of them fucked it for everyone. And like there's no chance that party even manages to come close to the success of Polanski's lot because it's beefed, and the left is still very much in a holding pattern within the SNP. So what you're actually going to see is voters voting reform.
Oops.
Right.
I genuinely believe that in the next election, the biggest and weirdest outcome is going to be a significant number of MPs in Scotland for reform.
Scottish reform MPs must be like the weirdest people on
the
God's
vibe
fucking
will be
planet,
fucked.
Because I always bring up that Scottish UKIP candidate that admitted she wanted to ban gorillas. I always bring her up.
Oh yeah, the gorilla.
Yeah, see, I was hoping David would get the memory of that.
Yeah.
Right. But what we're here for, of course, amongst other things, your favorite, fucking serious political analysis is the hottest takes and the finest reactions. So what I have prepared for my, friends on this here podcast, I have prepared a pop quiz hotshot. I have found a number of the most normal explanations for what happened here, and it's your job to guess who this was.
Okay.
Some of them are actual quotes, some of them are sort of cobbled together from much longer bits that, just needed whittling down. Anyway, your first guess is as to who gave this very normal explanation for the results of this by-election. The Greens and the radical left have won because of, amongst others, illegal family voting, clan-based networks, communalism, postal votes, Commonwealth voting, illiberal and undemocratic processes. Who was that?
Alistair Heath.
No.
Was it Brendan O'Neill?
No. This is too normal for
Keir Starmer.
Yeah, the thing is, I think it might be Farage, because Farage basically used this explanation, but he may not have said it like this. Yeah,
this was actually Matthew Goodwin himself in his very normal analysis that was like pages and pages long on, X the Everything app, which ended, I think, in the last paragraph by him clearly stating, this is not about being a sore loser.
Well, okay, my shirt is saying a lot of things,
Yeah. Who instead gave this as a very normal explanation for what happened. The Greens were able to capitalize on an endorsement from George Galloway to win over enough voters to push them over the line. Their willingness to welcome Galloway's divisive sectarian politics is a sign that Greens are not the harmless environmentalists they pretend to be, and their position on legalizing all drugs shows you how unstable this electoral condition is.
I knew this instantly because I quote this in my next video. It's Keir Starmer's letter to MPs.
Yes, well, or was it? Because apparently he has since disavowed ever writing that letter because everybody got really mad at him.
I'm sorry. This man's one advantage is meant to be that he can read documents and sign them. He's not even doing that.
Yeah, he better not say that too loudly, because if Peter Mandelson finds out you can just unsend emails,
that's.
Yeah. Ooh.
Or perhaps was it not George Galloway, but this? Gaza may have been the trigger for the divorce, but the Islamo-Gauche alliance is inherently unstable because one part of the coalition is demographically ascendant and at some point will no longer need its enablers.
See, initially I thought it was going to be Tom Watson, but now I am leaning in a Brendan direction like Jamie.
It's not Brendan.
Is it Brendan or Toby Young?
It's Brendan adjacent. This is Ed West in The Spectator.
Oh.
Who?
I see, the thing is...
He killed all those women and
Fred
left them
West?
under his patio.
Yeah, Fred West, that's right. By the way, it absolutely had Spectator vibes. as it was moving into it, and I was like, oh, initially it was like kind of what Tom Watson wrote on his Substack, and then it went really wild with it, and I was like, oh, I know where this was published.
Right. So if you may not believe that it was actually the Islamo-Gauche Alliance, was it perhaps that, quote, the Greens ran a nasty sectarian campaign while simultaneously wanting to legalize crack cocaine?
Hell yeah. Sorry, I got too into legalizing crack there.
That every British newspaper.
Yeah, I know, that's like the line, isn't it? Like
it's one of them, voice. Yeah.
Like this is just...
Anyone want to take a crack at it?
I want to say it's an editorial line.
It's not a newspaper.
Okay, then I'm out.
It is, of course, the person that, you've... almost. It's Kemi Badenoch.
Oh! I should have got that because I do quote her in the next video as well. But a different thing she said.
I just forget
but if that doesn't...
Time she's not in my eye line.
If that doesn't persuade you, can I try you for this? This is about Green candidate and now MP Hannah Spencer, who apparently is the embodiment of, quote, queers for Palestine, who was dancing awkwardly as Muslim men who dream of wrapping her sinful body in a black cloak look on with restrained fury.
That's Brendan.
That's Brendan.
That was the wrong one. Yeah, that's Brendan. That's 100%.
Yeah, that's Brendan. Congratulations.
Yeah. No, that was absolutely him.
We were waiting for him, honestly.
Right, and I have one more take, and see if you can work out who this is. When you lose an election in a democracy, you deserve to. You don't look back at the electorate and ask them, what were you thinking? You
I know.
Look at yourself and
Keir
ask,
Starmer.
what were we doing?
Pick me. Yeah, Jamie's right. It is...
It is Keir Starmer. Speaking, admittedly, about a different election, but
one that he didn't personally lose. That's the difference, I think.
Yeah.
Speaking of losers, though, because I don't want to let them slide, the Lib Dems and the Tories simply lost their deposits because they got under 2% of the vote. And I don't understand how, they got under that 2%, because the Tories stood some fucking crazy person from Sex Matters, a massive turf, and she got 1.9% of the vote.
I think she was the chair of it or something. She was some person in it as well.
She's high up in York, for sure.
Yeah. Some like actual person within it, not just some rando. It doesn't make a difference. Would have got 1.9% either way.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I'm sure the entire British media landscape will learn what this means.
But also,
it also doesn't make a difference because they're all like useless dipshits.
Also like the hilarious thing about like the media reaction after has been, so we're all rightly like going in on Labour. Everyone's going in on Labour because they're dying, frankly. But like the Tories, this is the Tories' like worst electoral performance in a British constituency ever, I think. And everyone's just like, this is fucking fine. This is fucking fine, actually. No one's mentioning it. No one's, because to be honest,
no, I like that even the Tories just like their first response was, well, Labour have fucked this, haven't they?
Yeah, and also Kemi Badenoch was like, there was one sensible candidate, and I'm like, why'd she lose then? Kemi, come on.
Yeah.
You gotta tell me, you gotta be able to explain to me why that happened. But also, like, the thing is, I only realised there was a Tory candidate when the results were being read out. I genuinely forgot they'd even run someone. They could have run any old fucking person. They could have run me for all I knew, and I still wouldn't have been aware that it was happening. It's so weird how they just don't exist.
Yeah.
No, the only time you ever hear anything about them is either like Badenoch's got some like just, she's chatting some shit she's workshopped on Facebook with your dad, or a bunch of them have like defected to Reform.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, like in that statement, the bit that I read out, like in another part of it, she was like, we actually did have the best candidate because she was standing for, single sex spaces for women and girls. And like, you got under 2% of the vote. Like, we keep saying it on this podcast, and we will say it over and over again in so many places. Turf shit only works within like the confines of like columnist land. For the average person on the street, if you start talking to them about like fucking underwear inspection, they're gonna rightly assume that you're a crazy person and wander off.
Until Mumsnet is actually like a parliamentary body, there is no point in assuming that this has any merit to a fucking vote. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and even then, that's just baked in as they'll all be like that regardless. So,
I mean, I will say it was kind of baffling that Labour lost on the day because they, I mean, you know, I should say, or was it, parked a van outside the polling station with the following text on the back. I had to like transcribe the whole thing because it's beautiful. To all voters, do not listen to these people. This is a picture of Zach Belansky and Hannah Spencer on the background. Do not vote for the Greens. They want to legalize all drugs and teach children to use drugs, including crack and heroin, and let our daughters be used for legal prostitution. No to green madness in our community.
That is a note that is simultaneously do not believe his lies and Mr. Policeman, I gave you all the clues, vibe-wise.
Yeah.
Like, just completely fucking unhinged and nowhere near coherent.
If this is, honestly, if this is what they're going to be like, Labour will be lucky. You know, like that poll we talked about earlier, Labour will be lucky to hit double digits. Like, they're really spiraling now.
They're gone.
Like, they might be fucked forever. This might be it. I think I called it on the night when I was like, they're done.
Well, I think actually, Sinan, you could be wrong about that, or you might be wrong about that now, but, you know, in the run-up, what I got was professional journalists like Jessica Algert telling me that actually was going super well, because this is, if you don't remember, you might not have, that this is Starmer 2.0, and that actually sending Starmer was a masterstroke when they sent him off to Denton, because this is her tweet. From the 23rd of Feb. This is not something parties do unless they are confident of winning. So Labour either believe they have it in the bag or someone has their sums wrong. ...
So it couldn't possibly be desperation. The whole panic thing about like, oh yeah, the drugs, they want the kids to do drugs and prostitution. So like, I haven't seen an election campaign that desperate since the fucking Tories in the 90s with like John Major, when it was like fucking yes it hurt, yes it worked. Like billboards up with that on all over Newcastle. It's like, fuck me, like that.
Oh, they're done at that point. Yeah. So like,
hang on a second. Was that an actual fucking campaign slogan?
Yeah.
Look, the 97 Tories, I assume this was. It's hard to.
I think I think it was earlier than that, like maybe.
But like, if we're talking about the 90s in general for the Tories,
this is 1990 apparently.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow. So they were desperate in 1990.
Yeah, they won with that shit.
Yeah, they won with that. Yeah. No wonder Labour are like this. Fucking hell!
I don't think anyone was more surprised than the Tories.
That's true. Yeah, but because fucking Neil Kinnock rocked up like he'd come out of the pub and started yelling into a microphone just the day before the election. Of course, everyone was fucking put off. Like, Jesus Christ!
John Major waking up and going, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
He's just like, "How could this happen to me again?"
Oh my God. Sorry, I'm just reading this article. This is from the BBC. This is an old piece from from about this election. I think this is literally 1992 or whatever. Labour leader Neil Kinnock dubbed John Major a quote ditherer and delayer for not calling an immediate election. Nothing. Everything is the same.
Why do we live in a flat circle of time? People, why is that what's happening?
The British mind cannot comprehend any other shape. If you put time in some sort of line, the British mind would collapse in itself.
Disintegrate instantly. The country would cease to exist in mere minutes.
So what I'm saying is that someone should do this urgently.
Yeah, please. Yeah. I don't know who we need to talk to. Presumably the Transitional Council of Iran or something. Please fix time for me.
Yeah, I think, David, the answer to your question is that time ceases to have any meaning in the eye of terror. So
this is true.
That's true.
I think the last word about all this should go to a delightful unnamed mayor who was also quoted by Jessica Algert in a rather better piece last year in May when she was covering yet another crisis in Labour. Keir Starmer's got a fresh rebrand, and it worked last year, so it'll work this year.
Sorry, can I just say you said Starmer 2.0. I just want to be clear. This is more like Starmer 14.0 at this point.
I know you're keeping count. It's fantastic.
I am actually keeping count of the relaunches, by the way. I've made it my job now.
Who's to say that they're doing version numbers correctly, though? We could have been through version 1, version 1.01, like we could have done this for fucking ages.
Yeah, brackets final
version
/134
before we finally hit version 2.0.
I mean, I don't want to be picky or anything, but that is technically doing version numbers correctly.
Not for politicians. People don't work like that.
Quote the piece, "A saving grace, some ministers believe, is that the Greens are underperforming. Said one minister, I think we are extraordinarily fortunate that the Green Party are shit. If they had any kind of charismatic or populist leadership, we'd be down 8 or 10 points further in the polls. I still believe we could squeeze that vote out for us if it came to it, but we should be aware that there may be voters who will simply not turn out for us."
I wonder which minister that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly think Friday was the happiest day I have had in fucking months. Like, that was genuinely the funniest shit. And that was actual international day of posting once again.
And that was just because of the stream, if nothing else, you know.
That was the capstone on an already very funny day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, I'm really looking forward to the next elections, which are only... Oh, look at that, 2 months away.
Yeah, who's looking forward to my Friday afternoon local elections breakdown? Where I will presumably invite more people round to my flat to drink and tell personal anecdotes while we scroll through every council and see how badly Labour have eaten it.
Yeah, it's going to be fucking something. I mean, like, apparently the strategy seemed to just be, like, at least from Keir Starmer, is like, no, we are doing good. We just need to, this is just a comms issue.
This is the thing I keep coming back to and that I just can't wrap my head around. He genuinely doesn't seem to recognise the danger he's in politically. He thinks it's normal and for a government to be fucking fifth in the polls sometimes. Like, what is happening? I don't understand how someone can just be like this. It's genuinely melting my brain a little bit, watching him just be like, everything's fine. Oh, by the way, I'm going to engage in a Iraq 2.0 in the meantime, just to boost my numbers a little bit.
So now I don't understand what your complaint is. I mean, look, the Geiger counter says the Geiger counter says we're at 3.6 Röntgen, and it's fine. It's not great. It's not terrible.
Oh yeah, is that right? I just can't wrap my head around how he thinks. I'm genuinely confused as to how he functions.
I don't know that he does. I am honestly starting to believe that he walks back into Downing Street and just looks at the wall.
Yeah, I don't get it. The thing is, because I've basically written a book about this guy now, right? And you'd think you understand the guy, what goes on in his head, why it's come to this, and how it's happened. And I do in the sort of structural political sense. But I don't get how he functions. And I've read the biographies and I've read all the shit, and I'm like, I don't understand this person still. It's so weird.
It's just a tape of a fucking episode of Match of the Day for 25 years ago playing on loop in his head. That's it. There's nothing else going on.
Maybe it's one of those Dutch dementia villages where they just pretend it's still Wednesday, 1997.
That's a good description of the House of Lords, I would think, to be honest. So.
Right, I mean, look, it's been wonderful. It's been a happy day of posting. We don't get many of those because, world events keep intruding upon, our little delightful garden. But a good time was had by all, and sometimes it is important to celebrate those things.
Other good times will come. Just every day wake up and think, what if today?
Yeah.
What if it happens today?
Yeah. You should, and if nothing else, spite drags you through the day just as fine as positive emotions.
Yes. Spite is the most valid electoral, force. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why
I think spite is essentially the fifth humor at this point.
Yeah, that's why I endorsed the Green Party in 2024. It wasn't because they were great; it's because they were a great spite vote.
Yeah. I've got all this piss. How else am I supposed to boil it?
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen the price of oil and gas?
We better get out into the woods for firewood now. It's getting that bad.
Right.
Yeah.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Everything
It's fucking expensive.
Subscribe to Praxiscast at patreon.com/Praxiscast.
Right, before we sink too far into this, I want to turn now to our main topic for this evening, which is that, if you're keeping count, almost exactly 11 years ago, in March of 2015, to celebrate raising quite a lot of capital from their small investors, punk brewers James Watt and Martin Dickey hired a helicopter to drop little plushy fat cats with parachutes on them over the city of London to show how much they didn't need trad finance because they'd found, equity for punks, which was way cooler than all of that. That same...
Honestly,
Fuck you.
if they were just dropping the plushies without parachutes, that'd be quite funny, but like...
Yeah. I mean, that same year, in a possibly even less funny bit of stunt work, this is from The Guardian, to send up their crowdfunding efforts, the pair filmed themselves begging for money and posing as sex workers. So, level of comedy achieved. They, of course...
Imagine being led by Donkey's Wario.
So tonight I wanted to talk about the, sharp rise and current, dissolution and end of Brewdog, the punk brewers with their punk equity and their punk everything that was all punk and rebellious right up until the moment their, founders got a giant payday from private equity and the whole thing turned into, not so good.
How it works.
By the end, in terms of the small investors, about 220,000 of them had put about £75 million into the company between 2015 and 2021. A lot of them on the promise that when Brewdog went public and you could buy the shares, they could cash out their holdings. And in the meantime, they could support a brand new beer maker that they may or may not have had some actual affection for. Obviously it never did go public, so them gains never monetized. But hey, in exchange, at least on their birthdays, they could get a free tap Brewdog beer on their birthday. Although, brackets, not applicable everywhere, no guest beers, no beers from the fridge.
Damn. What a terrible birthday gift. Fucking hell, cheap bastards.
Yeah.
Actually, such a cheap fucking thing.
All those 220,000 are all wiped out now. They will not see a cent in return. Their equity, their punk equity, is worthless, along with most of the staff, half of whom I think have been fired as of this morning or yesterday, and will never get their, of the permanent staff, will never get the £100,000-ish payout that one of the founders and massive bald prick James Watt promised them after many exposés of the toxist and sexist work culture he inspired. So, the bribe is not even in the post anymore. The bribe has also been cancelled because the company has gone bankrupt and the shares no longer hold any value. Speaking of the sexist, toxic and sexist work culture, this is mainly from the 2002 BBC documentary exposing some of the things that were going on. This is a bit from that. Bartenders were allegedly advised to dress conservatively and avoid wearing makeup during James Watt's site visits to avoid unwelcome attention, and managers would excuse certain female staff from shifts during Watt's visits. Because, cool guy. In response to these very serious accusations, he got a puff piece in Times. I think this is around the time this documentary was released, but I read it for this today, in which he denied all accusations and simply said that, he was too focused on growing a business and too intense, and that, certain of his employees, maybe even some women, took this the wrong way and not in the intense spirit of punk brewery in which he clearly intended it.
Was that the same article that I think it was the Times, maybe it was the Telegraph, I can't remember, but they just put an image of his big bald head with the words under it, "People are saying they'd like to murder me with a hammer."
No, that was a different piece.
What a visual. I've just remembered what that is.
Yeah, like, fucking incredible. I don't know who was doing the job that day, but like, okay.
You can tell some of our lot are working certain jobs and not telling us. You can absolutely tell.
This is the guy that Comrade Photographer sends the pictures to.
Shout out to Stefan Russo, who takes the best pictures of Keir Starmer.
Hell yeah.
Sadly, all this, and the bankruptcy of Brewdog might mean that we could never see House of the Unicorns, which was going to be James Watt's Dragon's Den rip-off.
I didn't even like Game of Thrones anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, is a Game of Thrones thing?
No, this is James Watt's rip-off of Dragon's Den, where he promised to teach entrepreneurs the secret of business success. But, given that his...
off in Weissbier.
Is it big bold cunt?
So what happened? So what happened here? What happened to Brewdog? Essentially, basically, it's a very poisonous combination of hubris by its founders, changes in global and local beer markets, as well as a quite disastrous private equity deal. But don't worry about it, because James Watt, as of yesterday, was worth somewhere between 250 and 400 million. Although a large chunk of that money was tied up in his shares in Brewdog. So hopefully he's worth a lot less today, but still he is a multi-millionaire, as is Martin Dickey, his partner. They both cashed out in time. Unlike their staff and others.
Of course.
But we have to I want to skip over a bunch of the early year stuff, except to say that they were founded, or one of their selling pitches was they were at the forefront of that whole sort of wave of craft beer, non-big brewery beer. Were they ever really great? Were they the innovators? Probably not. But were they really good at marketing their shit? Yes. They grew big for a reason.
As an amateur beer pervert myself, no, their beers are shit.
They are shit, but in comparison to
some would say that's a completely subjective opinion, and I would say no, it isn't.
Yeah.
I don't get the whole craft beer thing. Do you know what I mean? Just drink normal beer, or drink pop, or mix the two at home. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to pay some absolute fuckwit over the odds just to sell you something that tastes like Ribena. Do you know what I mean?
They just have Ribena.
It's a beer, but it tastes like Ribena.
Counterpoint: Ribena beer would be really nice, actually.
Not nearly gloopy enough for you, David. Fuck.
It's called Snake Biting Black. So you know what I mean? But but that's why it's not like craft beer, because if it was craft beer, it'd be called cromulent feg or something like
that. I'm just imagining the logo of that bit.
This is the thing though. Brewdog is largely responsible for the exact idea that that's what craft beer is, because it is this up itself shite, which the Brewdog stuff absolutely fucking was.
And let's be honest, anyone who goes to a Brewdog bar or whatever regularly is a bit of a twat. The person you know who does that, you do think they're a bit of a wanker. Yeah.
Yep. Everyone knows that one guy that does that. His local is the Brewdog that he has to commute 45 minutes to, and he thinks it's great. And it's
I've got mad beef with Brewdog, actually, because there's not anymore, and I suspect it's the Brewdog's fault. There was a really nice burger place in Nottingham that was downstairs of a Brewdog. And so if I ever went to this really good burger place, I'd look like I was going to Brewdog. And I resent them for that. And I'm glad they're fucked now. I wish they were even poorer, the guys who ran it, coming out of it. But I've got mad beef about that.
Back when I was working there, they opened one in Brussels, on top of Central Station, in an incredibly expensive location. And I went there with some mates because it was the new bar in town, and oh, I'll go check that out. And then I went the second time and I looked around and I was this is actually shit, and it's shit beer, and I'm already in Belgium, and why am I paying this much for shit beer when I can go to like any of a million cozy fun bars that I know and drink Belgian beer for like half the money.
Yeah,
so
but they're not punk.
That's true.
Yeah, they're not punk. Which just what a great like summary of the punk aesthetic that it went exactly like this. What an excellent summary of the whole fucking thing, honestly.
Well, that's kind of the point where I wanted to start. So, like, they do this for a number of years. They do a couple of these investment rounds where, you know, equity for punks, where people who legitimately, for reasons, you know, I will leave to themselves, like these beers or thought they saw something in the company, could, you know, purchase equity for punks so they could purchase shares. But in 2017, Brewdog, and specifically James Watt and Martin Dickey, did a deal with a not giant but a reasonably sized private equity firm, because nothing screams punk like private equity. A group called TSG Consumer Partners, which is a very punk name. They buy about 20% of the company for £213 million in cash. And as part of that deal, they changed what is known as the preemption rights. I had like a giant block of showdowns to explain how all this works, and then I ditched it because it's not hugely relevant to the story, actually. But basically, these are rights that ensure that you can't be wiped out. Like people, the small investors, the equity punks, could now be wiped out and like buy these private equity guys, and that is exactly what happened. James Watt and Martin Dickey made specific changes to like the company bylaws to give like these private equity guys like a bigger say and a bigger financial stake and preference to like any profits coming in from any eventual sale, that like the small investors, the people who actually like, you know, wisely or otherwise believed in them, they legitimately like just dicked them over to get access to American private equity, to big capital. So I think that shows you like really nicely what kind of absolute fucking class A cunts James Watt and Martin Dickey were and are. That's because also at this time they sold some of their personal stake to this private equity group. They sold about 110 million pounds worth of shares between them to this private equity group, and just literally cashed out. They walked away with money. According to an article I read for this in the Times, they made about 50 million pounds each from the sale of their personal shares in Brewdog. They realized so that was just cash in hand. They just like walked out the door with that.
That's all right for some, I guess.
Yeah, so this was 2017. However, this did not stop them even later on, notably in 2019. They did another punk for equity investor rounds where they just like dredged more money out of like people they already knew. But, you know, this time the tactics got a little bit stranger. This is from Dan McCrum writing in FT Alphaville, I think a couple months ago. Top referrers, i.e. people who put friends and associates into Brewdog stocks, won electric bicycles.
Wow.
Do people... Okay. I guess I'm not getting... Maybe I'm the wrong type of person for this, but I don't get what the big incentive is meant to be here. Like, what? An electric bicycle? That's it? That's what you get?
Yeah, but like if you get enough of your friends, like... to buy these shares, it's, you know, it's not quite multi-level marketing, but it's certainly close to, you know, that.
I was gonna say that's the vibe I was picking up off it was, you know,
yeah.
Are we doing this sort of thing now?
I mean, could be worse though, because also I think that this is definitely from their 2019 funding round. Brewdog tweeted that they, you know, apart from pounds and dollars, etc., were also going to accept cryptocurrency. And if you sent Brewdog cryptocurrency in exchange for being an equity punk, they would send you 6 cans of Kryptonite Intergalactic Liquid Currency beer.
Okay, but like, I'm sorry, but you're not a power metal band. You don't get to fucking name shit like this. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what the fuck?
I mean, James Watt is still like a crypto guy, so like nothing much has changed in that particular sense, I think, but still and all. This is from the press release at the time. James and Martin started Brewdog to be an alternative to the status quo, to challenge perceptions and revolutionize the industry. The developers, miners, and users of cryptocurrency are exactly the same.
You know what?
And
They
I would
are
say,
actually exactly
yes,
the same.
They are.
They actually are.
They're all completely bald.
Yeah, they are exactly the same because they're not doing any of that shit. That's wow. I'm gonna revolutionize the concept of drinking a beer, something that's only been the same for 10,000 fucking years, because no one needs to change drinking a beer. What do you mean you're gonna revolutionize it? Fuck off. Sorry, I'm getting really mad at this.
No. But like, I mean, the important thing about this is, right, about the fucking the multi-level fucking bicycles and the cryptocurrency shit is like, after they got like a £200 million investment from like big American private equity, they were still like going back to the well of their small investors and asking them for more money and more money. And the reason for that, as we'll talk about a bit later, is very important, is Brewdog between 2019 and 2024 never made a fucking cent. They ran a loss every year, so they had to keep getting money from elsewhere.
This is just a company for the era of free money that for some reason is still here.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah. Not now. But it lasted longer than the free money did by a notable amount.
Yeah, it is a very 2010s thing, isn't it? Just pure vibes based. It is a very 2010s thing.
It lasted longer than the era of free money because it found another source of free money, which is guys with Peaky Blinders.
Pretty much.
The divorced population of every major city in Britain apparently just really into this.
I mean, James Watt is a chronic flat cap wearer, so yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
There are better ways to cover it up, like...
They were just trying to build Mecca for Dinos, really, weren't they?
They did. They did. Actually, that pub, it is fucking massive and ridiculous and the most soulless thing I have ever fucking seen. And I have witnessed like a fresh Weatherspoons before. You know what I mean? I've seen a brand new built Weatherspoons.
Oh,
and
wow.
even it had more soul than that fucking Brewdog did.
I have never seen a brand new built Weatherspoons before. Like a purpose-built Weatherspoons.
I say built it. Well,
like...
I say built. It wasn't
refurbed or something
built or anything, but like it was very much refurbed to the point of like being nothing like what it was before.
Oh right, yeah.
And even I say, even that nothing on this fucking monstrosity down in London.
Yeah. So but that's part of the outcome of what happened. So in 2017 to up to and a few years later, armed with like a boatload of American cash and money from small investors, this is again Dan McCrum in FT Alphaville, quote, it pursued an unusual strategy of global expansion, opening flagship bars in places like Las Vegas and Mumbai. As well as, David, the one you were referencing, which is that double-decker bar at Waterloo Station, which was 2,500 square feet in a hyper-expensive location that, if memory served, had a slide, because, adults and slide.
Yes.
Yeah.
It had a slide and also a food truck, I believe.
It did, parked in the
inside.
middle. Yes.
Oh, okay, right.
Move.
I was gonna say, because, food truck outside the pub, sure. Like, it's fine. Inside the pub's fucking weird, gotta say.
It's real weird, yeah. The only Brewdog pub that is or was, because I'm not entirely sure whether or not the one in Las Vegas is still open, because that was a licensed one and not owned by, as far as I know, as are a bunch of the non-UK ones. Only the one outpost they opened in Las Vegas was bigger than the one in Waterloo. Because, if you're an equity punk, you simply have to be in Las Vegas.
But why? I can't imagine a less appealing place to be ever than Las Vegas. I don't know. It sounds horrible.
Because that's where their fucking shithouse mates were hanging out at the time.
I guess, yeah.
A rooftop bar. It's the same reason that fucking everybody's now crying about living in Dubai and wanting to go home.
Is it the same reason?
Not quite. I mean, inshallah, but by the time this goes out, If you'll remember the sort of little side note specifically about the one in Waterloo, Brewdog later either actively or passively allowed the EDL to meet in that pub, despite being warned by the cops that the EDL wanted to meet inside their bar, and then fired their Asian staff person who worked there and expressed her displeasure, and then Brewdog briefed that she displayed aggressive behavior and used inappropriate language.
Wow, I'm
when
shocked.
confronting the EDL in her, not her bar, but the place where she worked.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Had a duty of care to that employee. Yeah,
and I can only imagine the EDL were perfectly polite to her. I don't imagine they had any words to say to her, right?
Yeah, I mean, apparently this was not the first time that the EDL had met there, and like I think even this was like, if I remember reading this correctly, it was like the Met had said to them, look, it's better that you let them drink beer there, because if you don't let them in, then they might like start kicking off.
Yeah.
Throwing, I don't know, maybe like throwing in a window or something. So it's better just like expose your staff to the fucking, racist convention.
Fucking useless. But there's no worse reputation for a pub or a bar or a chain of bars to have than being the EDL chain. That's an awful fucking reputation. There are like 3 pubs in the city that have that reputation. No one under the age of like 70 goes to them. Like, not that many people under the age of 70 are going to the pub anymore, but those that do, we're not going there.
Yeah. It is very funny to like really stake your reputation on this massive flagship pub, and it turns out to be a Nazi bar. Like, there's nothing more you have fucked that possible. Reputation-wise.
James, what I think it was last year, was with his new wife, I think then partner, and they attended Nigel Farage's 60th birthday celebration. So,
Oh, there you go.
Well, that's a bit insulting because my birthday's the same day as Farage's, and I didn't invite them, but they could have shown up to what I was doing. I'm not sure what it was.
Oh, did James Watton not show up to your
That's
birthday?
right.
Shindig?
Yeah, one of my many birthdays. I don't know which birthday this would have been, so I'm not sure if this is the depression birthday or the one where I actually did have a party or the one where I fled to Spain. But either way, I feel...
Didn't turn up because you were at B&Q.
Yeah, well...
Anyway, this was like this. So this place, the Waterloo one, is very sort of like notable for being like a megalomaniacal overextension. This is not like the only one. There was also like a number of other overexpansions and hubris. Basically, there was the joint venture with Asahi Beer to capture the Japanese market. This is after they'd opened a Brewdog bar in Tokyo by themselves with their own money without support from.
Why have they done that? But I am a little gutted that I won't be able to point and laugh at the Tokyo Brewdog when I inevitably go. So
it might still be open because a lot of the foreign ones were like under license. They weren't Brewdog owned. I mean, the one in Tokyo is, but there is a bunch of ones abroad that might still be open. Including the one, by the way, that my partner has insisted I include in this episode, which is the one at Gatwick Airport, which might still be open, but, as she says, has shit food, and worse beers. Fuck 'em, don't go. So, that's your public service announcement.
Official review right there. You could take that to the bank.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're lucky, Sin, the Japanese Brewdog will get bought over by the UK Margaret.
Oh, hopefully, yeah. That way I won't have to travel to some random ass fucking town near Mount Fuji to go to the UK Margaret. Because that's currently what the plan's looking like.
Yes.
There was also the partnership with a different group, an Indian group, to open up to 100 different Brewdog bars in India, announced in 2023. In 2024, 2 of its 4 Indian bars had already closed down, as it turns out that selling beer in India is legal, but actually really tricky for many cultural and like local legal reasons. You can't just have a lot of bars. And also, naturally, much like the one in Las Vegas and the one at Waterloo Station and the one in Tokyo, they'd rented out premises in maybe some of the most expensive real estate in all of India. So, womp womp. There was also the partnership with Budweiser, how very punk and independent and anti-big brewery of you, to sell its beers all across China. Oh, and of course, including the plan to open up yet another 10 Brewdog bars in China.
But China has like a domestic beer market. You could just do it with, like, it doesn't have to be Budweiser. You could just do it with a Chinese beer company. I don't understand.
Yeah, but Budweiser is like the largest foreign beer seller and producer in China. That's why they did it with them.
That would be it. Yeah.
They also, I don't know if they still do, but at a certain point in time, they owned and operated 4 hotels, which they charmingly called dog houses because, brew dog.
I'm sorry, that's so divorced. That's so divorced. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I'm going down to the fucking dog house because that's where the wife has put me.
Yeah.
Not quite as divorced as the 2 apartment hotels they ran at one point or another, which they charmingly called kennels.
Oh, that's not ideal. That's not ideal.
The number one venue for puppy play enthusiasts among divorced dads.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And hey, you know what? If it makes Dino happy, I'm happy for Dino, Anyway, while all this was going on and they were massively overexpanding, they had a very bad staff culture that I previously touched on. There were serious allegations of sexism, misogyny. There was a culture of fear in the workplace, allegedly. And to sort of placate them and sort of show that, the company had turned over a new leaf, James Watt promised to share £100 million of his own stake in the company with the staff. That was very generous of him. So it represented a 20% of his own stake in the company, which he obviously would not pay out in cash over 4 years to Brewdog staff, permanent staff, but in share options. So the longer you were with Brewdog, every year you got share options, which might be worth something, the day that Brewdog's definitely going to IPO. Except they didn't, and now, those guys have lost their bonuses as well. So apart from the 750 actual staff who all got hosed in all this, he also promised that the 2,250-ish bar staff in these various places across the world, who were all just paid by the hour, would receive half the profits of every individual bar for a year to sort of, spruce up the company image and make everybody love the company again. Obviously, this promise was made in 2024. It's now 2026, so I don't think anything ever came of that as well. But they were also, and this is important, they were green, because punks are green and green are punks, etc., etc. This they spent almost £9 million, again of small investor money and large investor money, on the Kinrara estate on the River Spey in Scotland, with plans to plant or rewild a lost forest of 3 million trees by 2025. This is a good piece by Barney McIntyre on The Observer. This also would not just be funded by, this £9 million investment, but further funded through the sale of lost lager beers. Lost forest, lost lager, you see.
Yeah.
Also, what the fuck is punk about a lager? What the fuck is going... what?
Carbon credits are punk.
Right. I've got nothing on that, honestly. I've got I have literally no response to that. That's worth airing on this podcast.
However, on the Kinrara estate, quote the article from The Observer, by 2023, after a summer drought, roughly half of the 500,000 trees planted by Brewdog on the hillside had died. Because obviously, look, not all, but nearly all tree planting schemes are ill thought out schemes that exist for PR and not actually for doing something. Because, as the same article points out, what they were doing to plant the trees is they scraped off the top layer of peat to plant the trees in the soil underneath. However, when you don't put the peat where it's supposed to be, it dries off. And when it dries off, all the carbon that the peat is storing, which is a lot of it, is released into the atmosphere. So even, the trees that survived couldn't save the carbon that the dying peat that they'd scraped off to plant the trees in the first place, After which they still got yelled at by the Advertising Standards Agency because they kept making misleading claims about being carbon negative as a company. They weren't. In 2024, the company would not only stop planting trees, but also stop buying carbon credits altogether because, it got expensive to pretend to be an environmentally positive company.
Just in awe of how fucking how much bullshit it is. Like,
yeah, like just the sheer fucking scope of failure to the point of
it really is just like
actively doing the thing the complete opposite way, in a way, it's going to be a forest and we get to capture carbon, and then you fuck it up in so spectacular a fashion that actually what you do is release more.
And yeah, that's the thing that
do you fuck it up that bad?
That's the thing that stunned me, because Elon Musk did that whole thing where he's like, oh, if someone can show me a way to capture carbon, can innovate a way to capture carbon, I'll give him whatever amount of money. And people were just like, fucking trees. It's trees, Elon. We've had them sit for like 300 plus million years. Biologists do not correct me on that. But, we've had them for a long fucking time. And now, apparently, well, I guess Elon was right to keep the money, because apparently you can release more carbon with trees. I didn't think it was fucking possible, but these guys managed it. It's crazy to me, like, how fucking shit this is.
Yeah, there was also, just in terms of returning briefly to the dog theme of spending your money stupidly. They launched the alcohol-free subwoofer beer, which was designed to feed your dog while you're at the pub.
Is that okay? I don't own a dog, and I didn't really, and obviously, like, I was a kid, so we weren't really given the dogs beer when I did grow up with dogs. Is that okay? Can you give dogs beer? Is that fine? I don't really know.
Apparently, they made it in such a way that you can, but
yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, they can have little beer as a treat. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm really wanting to know is, though, like, and I hope, can someone please tell me, does the puppy play community disavow the use of the term subwoofer? I would very much like them to be above that.
I was about to say something very bad on this podcast. And I'd be like, let me text someone. And I was about to say their fucking name, and I didn't. And I'm very proud of myself for not saying it.
I mean, I recently checked the Brewdog website. This obviously, it might be down because the company's now out of business, but weirdly enough, can't buy it anymore.
Yeah. What I'm going to do, Sinan, is beep the bit where you say someone there, so it sounds like you said their name.
Yeah, please. That's a tremendous bit. If they listen to this, I want them to be freaked out. Yeah.
Right. Then there was, in terms of, weird expansions to a drinking brand, there was also they built a distillation complex to create their gin, which they called Lone Wolf. They also sued a small bar for using the same name, because Brewdog is for punks, They also distilled rum, tequila, and whiskey, all of which closed down in January of 2026 because, it was just a fucking liability instead of an actual asset.
This is like the opposite of what beer companies in Europe do. So, like, what they've done is they've expanded into, like, other types of booze, which is just complete nonsense. You shouldn't do it. Like there's, in Lithuania, the beer company
your beer's already bad. Stop making, why are you making other things when you fix your fucking beer first?
Yeah, exactly. But, like, the Lithuanian beer company, they make, like, soft drinks with their stuff, because they're like, well, people don't drink as much anymore. For whatever reason, since the pandemic, everyone's kind of stopped drinking. So they're like, all right, well, what are we going to do with all this stuff? We'll just make really good soft drinks. Whereas they went the opposite direction. They went, we're going to make really shit booze. And it turns out that doesn't work as a business model. I can't imagine drinking, like, Brewdog tequila and that being any good. No. It just sounds terrible. Just drink. I'm not even saying I particularly have a nice one. It wasn't sold as
Brewdog tequila. It was.
Does it have to be from Waka or something?
No, it was called Casereos tequila. So I don't know if it's like a sort of a blue looking bottle, but
no, I just had to look at my booze corner and be like, did I buy that by accident? I didn't. My tequila does have a little sombrero as the lid, though. because it's very culturally sensitive, I guess.
I just love that these fuckers, you know what I mean? It's like you could just run a bunch of pubs and like sell a bunch of craft beers in the late like 2010s, early like 2020s, and you would print money. I feel.
Yeah, like it's impressive.
You would lose money, like yeah.
It's impressive to be like running a pub in England, well, like Britain in general, like of this kind with this kind of advertising, and to lose money on it is very impressive.
But these fuckers just can't stop wanting to be the biggest lads around. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we're gonna open 100 bars in India. We're gonna fucking we're in Vegas now. You know what I mean? We reinvented the wheel. But dog themed. Do you know what I mean?
you know, it's like, did fucking Weatherspoons open a Tokyo location? Did they open 100 bars in India or whatever the fuck? Like, no, they just run pubs in Britain. I'm not saying it's a good thing. Yeah. I'm not saying Weatherspoons is like a net good necessarily, but like, they clearly make money from it. It works. That's the thing. Yeah, like I'm not. Yeah, separate the value judgment from it. It works.
Yeah, it's Brewdog could have possibly made this work had they leaned into scale and just scale like Weatherspoons does. The only reason that Weatherspoons survives is because everyone kind of expects it to be shit, and it is kind of shit and cheap, which it is kind of relatively cheap generally wherever you are. It's purely because of the amount of pubs. That's the only reason they can pull that shit off.
It's the McDonald's of pubs, where like the reason you go there is because you know what you're getting. You understand what it is. Not that McDonald's is the McDonald's of McDonald's now. They're fucked. But you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the other thing is as well, everything they did, they had to do, like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, it's not enough to open a bar in like fucking Las Vegas. It has to be the biggest, most expensive bar at, like, you know what I mean? And we have to put it like in the center, like just in the middle of the strip. We're gonna have them like reroute the traffic around our pub. Do you know what I mean? Like fucking just spend as much money as you possibly can.
I would have almost respected that more than what happened. You know, like just.
I mean, I think what you are all doing is engaging in a little bit sort of too much sensible discussion about how you could have run Brewdog as a normal business, whereas instead, what they did was run a business for punks. And how do I come by those words? That's because that's the title of James Watts' awful business book. It's literally called Business for Punks. I skim Reddit for this fucking episode.
I'm so sorry.
Co-written by fucking
or something.
Co-written by Michael Scott.
I will spare you like 99.5% of it. I'll just give you this one quote. This is from the chapter "Make Banks Your Bitch." You know,
fuck's sake!
Fucking Christ! Like,
what is happening? What is happening? Actually,
right. Let me see if I can get through this before all of you just like sort of have like
fully waiting to get fucking business secrets of the F slurs next time.
This guy is like the fucking avatar of midlife crisis.
How old is this cunt? Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. What, Rob, you go on, but I'm gonna look up how old this cunt is.
Jamie,
he's literally anywhere from 30 to 50.
Yeah, he's in the ageless void. I get it. I do get that as a resident of the ageless void.
He's like the fucking Primarch of the Dino Legion. He doesn't have an age. Like, it just, you know.
He's 43. Of course he's 43. That's the most 43-year-old man in history, I guess.
Right. He is from the chapter "Make Banks Your Bitch." You need to collect some nuts, and parentheses, and by nuts I mean money. Become an alpha squirrel. Get other squirrels to march.
No.
Sorry. What the fuck?
Fuck off.
Nope.
Meet the alpha squirrel. Like, it's too late. I have already depicted you as the beta squirrel and myself as the alpha squirrel.
The alpha squirrel's tail maxing, you know.
Nut maxing. Oh no.
Yeah.
Just realised as I fucking said it. God damn it. I'm never going to hear the end of that one. Book. I'm never going to hear the end of that
I wasn't nearly done, by the way.
I know. I can see how long it is.
get other squirrels to march between your banners. I'm not sure why.
Between your banners?
Between your banners?
Yeah, I don't get it.
That feels like a mistake. Like, actually, like a transcription error. Something's gone wrong there, right?
Gather all the nuts you can to fuel your ever-expanding squirrel army. The success of your colony will depend on your ability to choose the biggest, best, and most nutritional nuts while supplying them in abundance. And what better place to start your search? And what better place to start your search for nuts than at the bank?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I would.
This sounds like a job for the Lib Dems.
Yeah, like as Rob was reading that, and by the way, well done for reading that, and like as much of one go as you could. I was just thinking about different video games this is referencing, because this is like fucking Age of Empires, Crusader Kings, Stellaris. Like he's weaving through like all the games I played here, and I'm like, what a fucking nerd, man! like what the fuck is this?
I mean, this is what this is. This is certainly James Watt. Martin Dickey is like a lot less visible in all this, because obviously there was only room for one gigantic, massive fuck off ego in the joint, and it was James Watt.
Dickey's in the back office cringing.
So, like, my question is, like, did the two founders, like, sell out because they saw the writing on the wall, or did they think they were actually going to go on the stock market and make even more money? I suspect the latter. I suspect that the hubris was like rooted in quite deep all the way.
So like I think like there's sort of like there's sort of like two millennial dreams, right? And this guy does barely qualify within that age bracket, I guess. One is to destroy capitalism and usher in a better world, and the other is to be able to sell out like your parents did. And I really feel like this is like the sell out like your parents did motivation coming in here. Like I don't know for sure, obviously I don't know them.
There's actually a third dream though, and that is the biggest and most nutritional nut.
For fuck's sake, I'm never gonna get that fucking phrase out of my head. Like, I'm going to say it on my deathbed.
What if you could simply nutmog the competition?
I'm going to text someone that term later.
But, I mean, obviously, look, the good times could unfortunately not last forever, because although technically Brewdog may have been worth something in the neighborhood of £2 billion once upon a time, at least in private valuation, that theory was never realized or tested because it was never placed on the stock market. However, in the meantime, this is from various sources, mainly the Financial Times and the Times. Brewdog, between 2019 and 2024 at least, never actually made a profit because they'd like been given so much money from like private equity and other places. They just fucking like they thought if we just spend the money and build 100 pubs in India and build the place in Las Vegas and build the place in Waterloo, you know, if you build it, people will come, then we'll make even more money. However, instead,
if people come, like that's where you get your nutritional nuts, right?
Yeah. So in 2020, Brewdog lost 13.1 million. In 2022, they lost just over 30 million pounds. They doubled that again in 2023 by losing either 60 or 64 million pounds, but then dialed it back down in 2024 by only losing just over 35 million. So every year that these people like are opening pubs, they are underwater.
They have dug too deep.
Yeah, that's exactly the problem.
Overall, and this is an article I read from Drinks International magazine, which is a great publication I could thoroughly recommend, by Shay Watersworth, Brewdog lost just a hair under £150 million since 2019.
Fucking hell.
And basically, like, so they got 200 odd million from the Americans. They got another 75 million odd from their small investors. And basically, we would have been short of Brewdog 3 years back had the small investors not like put in 75 million pounds like in its first years of operation. You know, like, but part of the story of the downfall of Brewdog is, apart from the obscene hubris and the waste of money we were just talking about, one of the main things that does happen is Brewdog just disappears from the menu in thousands of UK pubs because people don't like it anymore, because people don't, and also because culturally, like that stuff about, you know, the allegations of sexism, misogyny, a toxic work culture, you know, like that was really widely publicized and people saw it, and then they were like, well, I don't want to drink this shit anymore because I don't want to drink the beer that, you know, if you have this image of a rebel and someone who's different and wants to be, you know, pretend to do good, and it turns out you're just like, you know, a fucking misogynist pig, then people stop buying your beer. That's what I did when I, you know, when those, I was never like chasing it down, but when I saw those accusations, I stopped drinking it because I didn't want to give fucking this bald clown any of my money, you know, all nuts, quite frankly.
Yeah. You've got to protect your precious fluids.
And apart from anything else, and like you already mentioned it, like visits to pubs are in enormous decline everywhere. Like pubs are shutting down all over the country, and young people just like drink less in general. You know, like it's not as popular as going to the pub is not as popular, and Brewdog is certainly not as popular. By the end, towards the closure, essentially the only thing that was like keeping Brewdog sort of vaguely alive was that they had like a business-wide contract with Wetherspoons. Wetherspoons took huge volumes of their piss beer, and then, you know, they were the only takers essentially towards the end. And like none of this, like making, you know, always making losses, fucking up the business, having a shit culture, you know, never stopped Brewdog, and specifically James Watt, from teasing like himself, the market, the employees, that, you know, they were going to launch on the stock market any day now, you know, because specifically there were a couple times, as far as I understand it, that like they could have sold out to like Heineken or, you know, Wetherspoons, or like a big chain, you know, like a much bigger brewer, because like the brand was really big once upon a time. They never did, because that would be selling out, and selling out is not what punks do, except, you know, for 20% towards American private equity.
And it's only like the entire history of the aesthetic at a certain point, to be fair. So like,
yeah,
like the subculture and aesthetic, it's only like the entire fucking thing that a lot of them did. Like all those old punks you see and shit, they're all Tories now. Like all of them are Tories now. And so
what's this guy? The fucking the guy from the Sex Pistols,
Robbie Rotten's yeah.
Aye,
he shills butter. Like, aye, punk, cool.
Well, I mean, it's not as bad as the cheese cunt from Blur, but, you know, who's my mortal enemy, but...
The cheese cunt.
Well, fucking great. That's like a Dark Souls boss, isn't it? The cheese cunt.
Yeah. The thing there, though, is I don't think you can accuse him of selling out, because I think, like, Blur were always cheese cunts, weren't they? So.
They also... I know
that was always the vibe.
Ever really much pretended to be much of anything else.
Well, Cockney, I think.
Yeah, I suppose. But like, by January 2024, like the game is starting to be up. You know, like, I mean, and part of the reason they made much less like losses in 2024 is because, amongst other things, the company drops its pledge to pay all its staff the voluntary living wage, which I checked for this year is £13.45p outside London and £14.80 inside London. And instead paid the statutory minimum, so the legally required minimum for people over 21, which is now £12.71. So, like, you know, they simply cut their staff wages by about a sixth or something like that, maybe 20% at the time. You know, that's how you can punkily make money and stop like bleeding nuts out of every hole, I suppose. That's a. And then last year they stopped talking about doing an IPO. I suspect part of the reason is they tried it a bunch of times, and like the people who are trying to place them on the stock market said, look, you can go public, but nobody's going to buy your shit, because also like once you go fully public, at least in the US, in the UK still, you have to like show a lot of your financials. You have to show investors what you're worth. And what you'd end up showing is that you're a loss-making operation with like a gigantic, unstable empire with, you know, promised bars across the world. So, you know, it didn't work. It never worked. And the end result, this is, you know, as of yesterday at least, is that the company is bankrupt. It's gone. It's down in the dust. It's been the remains of it have been bought by a American sort of conglomerate that does weed, drinks, and wellness. It's sort of a collection of different.
Still an incredibly fucked vibe, then, I guess.
Yeah. They bought the remainder of
by
it.
Wolf Cola.
Part of the Frank's Fluids family now. I cannot imagine the Always Sunny episode where Frank has to deal with a punk guy like a Brewdog fucking PR crisis. Oh no.
Oh.
Yeah, so these guys have promised to keep all of 11 pubs out of many more. The flagship pub in Aberdeen, I think, is also gone. Some of the beer brands will stay. What is it? Punk, Elvis Juice, and one other. They'll keep the brewery, and for now they'll keep a distribution center.
Is that really a fucking thing they sell? Elvis?
Yes.
Yeah. It's one of their juice sellers.
That's real, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Fucking. How nutritional were his nuts, though?
many historians have asked, actually.
Although in the meantime, 500 Brewdog staff have, lost their jobs. Any share options that may have been given, I mentioned it before, are voided and no longer valid. Dozens of the bars have closed down, so all the bar staff have been laid off as well. And the equity punks, the small investors, some of whom with good intent and some of whom simply in it to make money, are all wiped out. They put, 75 million. I think a lot of them did it out of enthusiasm for this brand and what it represented. Rightly or wrongly, those guys all got wiped out. To be fair, so did the American private equity firm, but fuck them.
Yeah, well, fuck the lot. I mean, if you invest in a stock, fuck you. Like, simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As for the employees, I don't believe all those chairs are nailed down, so...
I mean, I agree with you. Like, it's like if you, I do think it's different that like if you buy, like, I don't know. I can believe that people, small investors, like people who weren't really investors, they were just like, I like Brewdog, I like what this represents, who were like, suckered or taken in by the marketing or whatever, and they decided to put in a couple £100. And it's like, I don't know. Do those people all deserve to get fucked? To some degree, yeah, but maybe not as much.
Did we mention the thing about the thing about the punk shares and how that actually worked? To cash those out, if you were a punk equity holder or whatever, you had to attend an AGM in person, which cost you money. And most people who bought into this had less than the value of a ticket to that AGM in the shares.
I fucking hate these.
That is effective theft. You know what I mean? Like, if you cannot get your money back that is apparently there without having to spend the money first, what is the point? What have you actually done?
And also, I want to say as well, like, you know what I mean? It's like, ask, did these people deserve to get fucked? And it's like, I mean, it's capitalism. Who deserves to get fucked? Since when has that had anything to do with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and also I think, David, I think you're kind of underselling it. You say they had to attend a meeting, I think, to sell because they're on the private market, which I think is correct. That's in most companies that's called the annual or general meeting or AGM.
You have to attend the AGM.
Yeah. The point I wanted to make is that Brewdog, of course, didn't call it those. They called them the annual general mayhem.
Sick, like.
Being
at least
actively cringed out of the ability to withdraw your money.
I don't know. I think it's kind of like, you know what I mean? It's kind of interesting that you have to go on a quest to get your fucking, do you know what I mean? To get your shares like sold.
Yeah.
Like fucking, you know what I mean? Like James Watt's just disappearing into the forest with people chasing after him. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Disappearing into the forest he planted. It's coming out the other side seconds later.
New D&D campaign ideas just dropped. Trying to sell your shares to the evil wizard is now the play.
Turning up at the annual General Mayhem with like 10 squirrel asses and looking for the guy with the bright yellow question mark over his head.
Oh, fuck.
At least, the only, I think possibly one of the few upsides of all this story is that both James Watt and Martin Dickey, they still had about 20%. They owned, even after selling off a chunk, they still owned about 20% of the company each. They're also wiped out and won't get any money out of this fire sale. So,
Good.
This is good, but on the other hand, they made more. They individually made more money than the whole company is worth today, or like that it was sold for.
Bad.
I think yesterday. At this point.
Yeah, that bit's bad. So
yeah, so
call it even. I don't know. Land of contrasts. I don't know.
If you're curious,
I want to say one last thing about the fucking the small investors thing is like whether you invested in this or not, like take it as a fucking lesson, right? That like investing in things and owning fucking like shares and stocks and everything is not for you, right? It's not for small investors. If there was ever a possibility that you could get rich by doing this, they wouldn't let you do it.
Mm-hmm.
But don't you worry about James Watt though. He's on to bigger and better. He's currently married to a ex something. What is it called again? Mayhem in Chelsea. That show, that fake reality show. She was also
Mayhem in Chelsea.
Made in Chelsea.
Oh,
that's the one.
Now that makes more sense.
A Tory heiress, I believe, called Georgia Toffolo. So hooray
That's
for
a
him.
real name.
Yeah,
Fuck off. No,
Yeah,
no.
Does she write for the Times or something?
She
Kind of fucking name is
of course
Toffolo?
yeah.
Fucking bullshit name, fake names. I'm calling bullshit. I'm being lied to. I'm gonna look this person up on my phone right now. What was it? George. All right. I'm gonna try.
Toffolo.
Oh, like exactly how I thought it was spelled.
Yeah.
Oh,
it
is
like, behold, a toffee sweet.
Oh, fuck, it is a real fucking hell. A real person showed up. What the fuck? Actually, two people did. There's also a professional footballer with the same surname. So in case anyone was wondering.
Right. Just a little side note about their relationship. They were engaged, I think, for quite a while. Because James Watt is also an investor in her dog food business, which is called Wild Pack. And if he married Georgia Toffolo within 3 years of investing in her company, he would become a connected person, and under tax rules, he would lose the tax relief he got for investing in a startup company. So they waited for 3 years to get married in order for James Watt to cash in the tax relief, because that's love.
Did he say that? Did he say that legally?
He did do that. He wrote that on his LinkedIn page. I have an BBC article.
I can't believe David's excessive caution has been outflanked by someone's LinkedIn page. What an incredible turn of events.
Well, just to be sure, David, just for your peace of mind and comfort, quote the BBC quoting his LinkedIn. If I marry Georgia Toffee, within 3 years of investing, I become a connected person under HMRC rules, and I lose the tax relief. Mm-hmm. James Watt then asked his LinkedIn followers to vote on whether or not he should still opt for tax relief over love.
Just
you don't even need to tell me what the poll said.
Just don't get married if this is the consideration in your head. Genuinely, just don't do it. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
But still, on his LinkedIn, fuck's sake.
I mean, LinkedIn is the most cursed social media platform, in the known universe.
Yeah, there is some tremendous shit posting potential in LinkedIn, but unfortunately, you'd have to be on LinkedIn to do it, and I feel like that's a risk too far for me on a personal level.
Anyway, that's not the only thing he was into. Like he had like a whole series of articles, in the Times that were all just like massive puff pieces because he got into like being an Elon Musk stan as well. He got a big piece in the Times because he wanted to do a Musk style, Doge government waste bullshit campaign, when that was real and not, a murderous fake that's going to lead to the death of millions. But, he first wanted to call it something like Doge or something. Then he rebranded it as, let me get this correct. This is from the Times. The Coalition for Organizational Reform and Government Improvements, which acronymizes to Corgi.
Off.
Yeah, so all of that was not just to promote like his new sort of, Elon Musk, Nigel Farage adherence to blah, blah government waste. He also wanted to promote his previously mentioned House of Unicorns, fucking TV show. But he has a new business, a new venture, which I couldn't really find because his personal website doesn't provide a secure connection. So my Chrome simply refuses to load it. But yeah, his new business is called Social Tip, which is a social media marketing agency. This is from Forbes writing about this. James, what's new venture?
Social Tip where the nut ends up.
Well, you know what they say, just a social tip.
Yes. What's new venture, Just the Social Tip, launched just 14 weeks ago, is his attempt to rewrite the playbook of advertising. Instead of paying influencers...
Sorry, that got me so good. Oh no.
Instead of paying influencers or pouring more money into more digital ad, Social Tip turns everyday customers into brand advocates and pays them cash when they post about the products they genuinely love.
This is
How much cash?
I'm sorry, this is literally the plot of a dystopia novel I've read. Like, this is literally the actual fucking plot.
Yes,
like,
yes.
1-to-1,
Yeah.
this is Torment Nexus shit. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But also, how much fucking cash?
He says, and this is an interview with Forbes, I can't imagine this is possibly true, but what he says is like per positive post, Just the Social Tip will pay you up to like £7 per post.
Oh,
Fuck off, will they?
fuck you. Like, have you seen the amount I fucking post when I'm at work? Come on,
no.
piss off.
Pull the other one. It's got a fucking
Like-
tail on it, mate.
I mean, I haven't looked into this as a fucking business model. It might be like amusing to do in a future episode, but like I suspect that may be true. But like if you have like an account with, I don't know, 10,000 plus followers or something, like if you're fucking big,
Oh, it's got to be more than that.
Yeah.
But basically how Just the Social Tip works is they are partnered by 350 different brands, all the big ones you've heard of a million times in your life. And if you are signed up on their website and
The
you
nutritious
post on
nut company and so forth.
well, yes, I mean, they list a bunch of those companies, and like a bunch of them are, meal replacements, Huel, and protein pills, and like if you are registered with his platform and you post on, let's assume your X the Everything app account, because that's the kind of person you are, is like how much you love your box of pre-sliced shit you just got from HelloFresh, they will pay you for your post. So what this company's business model is, to go into your theme of dystopia, Sinan, is what if you turned like yourself, your personal brand, your personal online presence into your own mini advertising agency, and you just started spamming your family and friends and your followers online with how much you love, Daily Fresh protein pills or Huel or fucking, Alex Jones's Gorilla Brain pills or whatever, and you got paid for it. It's just his brand new idea is to monetize every single last fucking social interaction that you have online.
This just seems like a surefire way for the like Blue Wave follow back accounts on Blue Sky to make bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
if they take
also,
James Watts'
I
money,
wanna-
good luck. Have fun with it.
Yeah. I want to I want to say, right, when I was in fucking school, when I was about like 14 or 15, there was some absolutely tragic cunt that used to drive around concert in a Coca-Cola themed car. And like, you know what I mean?
Did it have the big can on the roof?
I'm sorry.
No, it was a fucking it was like a fairly like flash boy racerish car, but with like fucking, you know, the Coca-Cola logo. It was red and had the Coca-Cola logo painted down, and like the little swish effect went along the side and all this. It was
Awesome.
Yeah, and
just driving around in the fucking hot dog mobile purely for the love of the game.
I felt like, well, we all speculate he must be getting paid to do that, right? Like he must have somehow gotten paid to do that, but it feels like all of human society has just been like trending towards that guy's like lived experience for like the past 30 years. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I can't believe
everything just wants you to be a fucking like walking advert now.
I can't believe I finally heard about something more tragic than that Fate Stay Night car I saw outside of a convention. What the fuck? Incredible. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, like, from reading a bunch of stuff in the Times for this, the Times has been acting as James Watts as, like, fucking hype man for all of 2025. And quite frankly, I really hope that with, like, Brewdog imploding, that this stops now. Because he's not a business success. He's just a fucking prick.
Whichever writer like had punk equity will probably turn on him now. So
yeah. If you're curious at all about Martin Dickey, he did sort of fucking disappear, like off being, you know, a presence in the media. Last I heard, he's in the medical marijuana business somewhere in Shropshire, I want to say. All right, so
Martin,
you know,
Martin, call me. You know, just yeah. I'm just saying, I'm very interested in that.
Yeah, so that's the tale of, you know, hubris. Like some of the worst people in the world.
How is tail spelt there, Rob?
Yeah, you know, they failed to store any for winter is all I'm going to say about it. And, you know.
Stockpiling my nuts in a little jar.
Is there a figure in the jar as well, or
My Little Puppy?
Oh, fuck's sake.
Christ alive!
Oh, what a night!
All right, well that's the tale of Brewdog, a promising company run into the ground by fucking assholes.
Yep, cool. Good. Glad it's dead.
Yeah, fuck it, to be honest.
Yeah. All right, well, are we doing commentary, Anthem?
I'd
If
love
we
to.
must.
All right. Reeves and Keir Starmer think we'll swallow any old rubbish. Don't believe a word of it. The economy isn't stronger, it's flatlining. If working people felt better off, she wouldn't be the most unpopular Chancellor ever, and Labour the most despised government. Is that comment or commentary?
Feels normal.
Yeah.
It feels weird.
It's cope.
This is really worrying. Comment.
Yeah, I'm going to say commentariat.
Commentariat.
That was Harvey Jones in The Express.
In The
Rachel
Express?
Reeves thought she'd played a blinder, but she's just been blown to bits by Trump.
I'm astonished by how normal that is for the fucking Express. That's blown my mind.
To stop illegal immigration, you have to make the country a less attractive place for the migrants to come to, as Denmark has done. They've reduced unlawful migration massively by, among other things, reducing benefits to migrants, making it harder for families to join them, granting them only temporary residency, using their assets to pay for their stay, and increasing language proficiency requirements. It's not rocket science, it just takes desire and commitment. Is that comment or commentary?
This is commentariat
so.
by some guy really mad that they put the prices up at Legoland.
I think it's commentariat as well.
I think this is commentariat, but by Shabana Mahmood as her pitch for, like, fucking, you know, Andor Season 3.
I like how everyone has a different, like, dystopian sci-fi officer that she is. Like, everyone has a different one they lead on. It's so good.
Oh, well, you've fallen into my trap there because that was a comment in the Express.
Oh.
But the headline for this is incredible because, like she was on GB News yesterday, just blasted with like 7,000 watts of lighting to try and make her look more palatable to racists. Talking about how she's a new plans to brutalize, like that she's learned at Legoland. She's learned new ways to brutalize like immigrants and everything. And the Express covered this with Shabana Mahmood explains why you should give migrants up to £30,000.
Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Success.
Yeah. Just absolutely kickflip that rate. Obviously, they nipped out a clip where one of the winners said Free Palestine because after the Glastonbury debacle when that performer, I forget his name, Jizzy Biscuit, something like that, encouraged the crowd to kill Israeli conscripts, there was something of a brouhaha. Is that comment or commentariat?
Commentariat. Come on.
I hope...
Richard Littlejohn.
I want it to be commentariat,
Yeah.
so I'm going to say commentariat.
That was Jeremy Clarkson in the Times.
Fuck.
I wish
off.
I'd been there for the BAFTA Tourette's moment.
Of course. Of fucking
Presumably
course.
he was going to rush the stage with a steel chair or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Just...
Yeah. Jesus.
All right, this is a short one.
Mm-hmm.
Safer there than Edinburgh. Is that comment or commentary?
Is this about people complaining about how Dubai is no longer the fucking wonderland? Comment.
I think comment.
Ian Murray. Commentariat.
That was a comment in the Daily Mail. Thousands of cruise passengers are trapped in Gulf ports due to Iran war. I have absolutely zero context for why that's safer than Edinburgh.
They're right.
It's like that person who was like, "Oh, I'd rather be in Dubai than in Wigan," and it's like, "Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what, mate? I think you fucking got it. I think you're right." Like,
I'm going to stand up. I've never been to Wigan, but I'd rather go there than
oh
Dubai.
no, yeah, like,
I know. See, no, you're getting it twisted. It's actually they're right. They should stay in fucking
yeah,
Dubai. Just
exactly.
remain
Yeah.
there.
My advice, and I'm an official of the British Foreign Office. I'll just walk around in Dubai. Just walk around, see what happens. Just look up at the sky.
Go outside with your phone and film the rockets going overhead for content. Like US soldiers have
To be
been
fair,
doing.
everyone in the region is doing this. Everyone in the region is doing this, so I don't see why British people should be exempt.
I know that, but like, it's especially funny that like the US troops are doing it.
Yeah,
you know what
I
mean?
like.
They haven't even got training enough to hide from missiles.
I like the American troops. I like the one where the American soldiers like, that was my fucking truck. Like, they just got absolutely glassed by a missile.
And if you
keep my hamburgers.
And if you really want to like influence Max and sculpt your post, like wear a big magnet while filming the missiles going.
That's right. Yeah.
Anyway, last one.
Okay.
Just one large missile strike on the Sellafield nuclear waste reprocessing plant would render the British Isles and much of Western Europe a radioactive, uninhabitable wasteland for generations. Is that comment or commentariat?
Commentariat, Zach Polanski.
Yeah, commentariat, I guess. Like, feels too coherent.
Is this from the private archives of Ayatollah Khamenei? Allah have his soul.
The supreme leader himself has released his secret plans after death.
Like, I really want to say this is obviously commentariat, but so many of these would you call it, fucking NatSec fucking posters.
Yeah.
Like, NAFO has created an incredibly annoying breed of guy.
Oh,
And
you mean
they
the
all
next
post
Labour leader,
exactly
General
like this.
Chin-ass?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. That's not how you say West Streeting, but yeah.
This is actually from James Watt's new book, Business Secrets of the Ayatollah. No, it was a comment in the Express. The article was, nuclear expert warns 4 UK towns and cities are prime targets for Iran.
What are they all in Cyprus, or what? What the fuck? Like,
do you want the relevant quote from this guy's article? His name was like like Georg Skittle or some fucking proper Star
George
Wars
Lucas's favourite boffin.
Nuclear Georg, as we call him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I can't believe you like mangled that man's name. He's this Skittles Georg.
In terms of UK-based military infrastructure that could be targeted through unconventional or cyber means, the obvious ones are RAF Fairford, if it's being used for US operations, the naval facilities at Portsmouth and Devonport, and GCHQ in Cheltenham, though that last one would be a cyber target rather than a kinetic one.
Okay.
Now, anyway, if you want to sign off, we can all go back to family vote.
That's right.
Yeah.
Shout out to the family listeners.
Yeah. Shout out to the extended Practice Cast family, I guess. Simon, plug your shit.
Yes. I'm not sure when this episode is coming out, but my video on, weirdly, on the sectarianism stuff that people lost their minds about after the by-election will be out tomorrow from the recording. So that's, what day is it tomorrow? Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday the 4th it'll be out. So if you go watch that, it's a short one. And it's the one politics video I've allowed myself before Keir Starmer resigns. So that's, I'm back to video games.
That's a little
this.
treat.
Yeah, a little treat because I get to do some drive-bys on some really shitty politicians. And who can resist, honestly?
Indeed. Cool. Thank you for coming on. It's always a pleasure.
Well, don't say that.
For our shit. Oh no, it is, and it will happen again.
Yeah.
For us,
when we do Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Right. No. Fuck off.
Patreon.com/PraxisCast. You will get bonus episodes. I'm going to say right now you will get at least 2 bonus episodes this month. At least 2.
At least
also,
2.
Twitch streams. What?
I was just repeating what you said for like emphasis, you know?
Oh, okay. Twitch streams are also available. They will happen at points. Don't worry about it too much. Just follow us on the Twitch and we will do the fucking streams. They will come back. Things have just been a wee bit fucked up and hectic on our end.
Yeah.
So, as soon as we we'll bring them
Everyone
back.
had plague last weekend.
Yeah, some of us still have. Also, merch, praxiscast.gmail.com. Get your merch. Enjoy it. And we'll catch you on the next episode.
Oh, hang on. I have one more plug. If you go to the show notes, there'll be an affiliate link to Amazon, and then we will get paid by just the tip.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.